Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining the channel. Today is Tracy with JDL Threads, and in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be learning how to upload a rhinestone template into Cricut Design Space so that we can go ahead and get us a nice blinged out rhinestone shirt. The supplies that we're going to need is some rhinestones that I did purchase from the Rhinestone world. We're going to need some parchment paper to press our rhinestone template onto our shirt. We are going to need some rhinestone flock. We are going to need some KTM mask. And we are also going to need a Dollar Tree cutting mat. We are also going to need to have a rhinestone file to upload into Cricut Design Space, as well as our Cricut machine to go ahead and get our design cut out. So let's go ahead and get started. Come on over to my computer and I'll show you guys how we are going to upload our design into Cricut Design Space so that we can have us a nice blinged out rhinestone shirt. Okay, you guys, and the design that we're going to be using today is this design here called No Worries, God Got Me. It was created by Coretta. Coretta created it, and it is a file that I purchased on Etsy. It is for SS10 rhinestones, which are the rhinestones that I'm going to be using. So what you would do is you would go ahead and purchase this rhinestone file. You would download it into a folder of your choice. I like to download all of my files into a specific order. So I put all of my rhinestones into a folder. And this one is actually rhinestone files that I purchased from Creative Fabrica. This one is from the Rhinestone World. These are files from Etsy, and these are just other rhinestone SGVs that I purchased. So I did go ahead and download my file from Etsy. I put it in my rhinestone template Etsy folder, and I'm going to go ahead and upload it into Cricut Design Space so that we can go ahead and get this rhinestone design blinged out. Let me make sure that I have Cricut Design Space open. Okay, yes, it is open. I did already have that one loaded in, but I will show you what the process is. So what we would do is we would go first to Cricut Design Space. We would come over here to upload so that we can upload a new image. We're going to upload image, click that, and it will give us this page here that says upload image. We would go back to our file where we have our design, and we're going to drag our design over into Cricut Design Space to upload our design. We're going to drop that in, and there you see that it is now in Cricut Design Space, and we are going to press continue. We are not going to press upload. And it's going to take just a few minutes for us to get that uploaded into Cricut Design Space. Now, as said before, I did previously go ahead and upload this design into Cricut Design Space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just delete this second design out. Okay. Now that we have our file into Cricut Design Space, what we're going to do is really, I don't need to make any changes because the design has already been formatted for me. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make it. What we're going to have, I'll show you here, is we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. This is the layers panel over here. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers that we're going to be using. I'm just going to change mine a little bit, and I'm going to change it to 4 layers because I'm going to make the No Worries and the Got Me one color. I'm going to make this yellow outline one color. And I'm going to make this green another color and this darker green another color. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 layers that I'm going to use. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and hit make it. Which now you will see that the No Worries and the Got Me is on the same mat. My outline for God is on that second mat. My lower layer for the inside portion of the word God is on that third mat. And my top layer for God is on that fourth mat. Okay, I'm going to be using a 12 by 24 cutting mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just say that I want to use my cutting mat, which is a 12 by 24 here. We don't mirror rhinestone designs, so we're not going to, this is if we were to mirror, but we are not going to mirror, so you're going to leave that off. We're going to see where our design falls, which is from 1 all the way through 11 on this particular mat, number 3. So you got me. No Worries is also falling from 1 to 10. And the God is falling from, looks like 1 to 11. And the inner rhinestones are also falling, looks like 1 to 11. Okay, so we're going to need 4 pieces of rhinestone flocks. And I'm only going to just be using the one mat, and I'm going to cut them out and place them onto my cutting mat each time that I cut them out, so that I won't have to use 4 mats. But if you like to use 4 mats, you can go ahead and get your rhinestone flock set up on each of the 4 mats. And please make sure you have your rhinestone flock lined up exactly the same way it is where your design falls on the mat. So this particular one is 5 inches down, about 5.5 to about 10 over. So you would make sure that your rhinestone flock is that exact same size. Oh, one very important thing that I forgot, let me go back. When you bring your design in, you want to make sure that you check to make sure that your size is the exact size of what the design was when it was created. This particular one is 10.698 by 8.098. You want to make sure you have that exact size, because if you do not have the exact size, your rhinestone flock is not going to cut correctly. So going back to Cricut Design Space, we're going to check, and we have 10.698. Let me just go back and make sure that's correct. 10.698 on a width, and I have 8.097 on the height, and which she has 8.098, and that's close enough. Off by that little bit is going to be just fine. So now we will go back to Cricut Design Space. Do not change your sizes on your rhinestone template design that has already been created, because it will not cut properly. You need to have the exact same size of the template when it was made once you bring it into Design Space. Again, that's very important. Okay, so we have that checked, and we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to push make it. And I like to just bring my designs down a little bit below this red line here. I don't like it touching on that red line. So the first cut that we are going to do is the no worries and the got me. So I'm going to go ahead and get my rhinestone flock set up for that. Which is 5 inches down and 10 inches over. And the rhinestone flock, it comes 12 inches wide. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it the 5.5 inches down. And I'm going to leave it the width-wise. I'm not going to go ahead and cut that. I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, some people like to use their rhinestone flock, which you see it has this paper on the back. They like to leave it on there when they put it on their cutting mats. I do not, because what I find for me is that it sticks so bad to my mat that I'm having to scrape up so much of all that paper. So it's a preference. You may leave your paper on when you cut out your flock, but personally for me, I like to remove my paper like so when I put it on my mat to get it cut out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that set up 1 to 5.5. I am then going to just take my brayer and I'm going to roll my flock. Whoops, brayer's not acting right now. I'm going to roll my flock onto my mat. There we go. All right, so we have our rhinestone flock onto our mat. We are going to come back over to our computer. And all I'm simply going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and push continue. My Cricut machine is on. And we're going to wait to get this first cut out. We are going to select rhinestones. I'm going to use more pressure. And now it's telling me to load my tools and materials. So I'm going to use my Cricut mat with my rhinestone flock. I have my fine point blade into clamp B. I'm going to load my rhinestone flock into my Cricut machine. And then I'm going to press these 2 arrows here so that it can get my mat adjusted and prepare it for the cuts. So let's go ahead over to the Cricut machine where we can go ahead and get this rhinestone flock cut out. Okay, so as you can see, my 2 arrows are blinking. I'm going to go ahead and load my mat in. I'm going to load it up under these 2 little clamps here. holding it down and making sure it's up against the rollers. And I'm going to hit those arrows so that it can adjust my mat into the Cricut machine. Okay, and it has detected the mat and it's in a good position. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and hit play or start so that we can get our first template cut out, one of the four for our Cricut design rhinestone template. Okay, everybody. So with that, our first of 4 layers of our rhinestone template design has been cut with our Cricut. So we're just going to go ahead and push these 2 blinking arrows to release our mat. And there we have, you can see where it has cut out our design. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to my work table. We're going to peel back our flock from our mat so that you can see what it's going to do is it's going to lift up all of the circles off of the mat now so that we can have our spot to place our rhinestones in once we get ready to set the rhinestones on our shirt. So come on with me over to my cutting table. All right, now, so as you can see, I'm just slowly peeling back my rhinestone flock and it's leaving behind all the little holes where it cut out the design. For the "you got me, no worries" part of the design. And that's what it looks like once you lift it off the mat. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I am going to take my Dollar Tree cutting mat and I'm going to go ahead and just lay this part of my design onto the mat because we do have three more layers to cut. And all of my little circles looks like they lifted out except for a few. So you want to make sure that you get all those circles out before you lay your mat down. And so you see I have a few here on the back. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get those out before I lay my design down. And make sure you don't have any air bubbles in your flock when you lay it down. Okay, and so there's the first part of our design, layer 1 of 4. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and get my other layers cut out off camera. And I'm going to get those all laid onto my cutting mat. I think I have enough room to lay all 4 layers on this one cutting mat. It has a front and a back. So we will put the rest on the bottom down here and the other 2 on the back side. And I will be back to show you what that looks like. Okay, everybody, so I have completed putting all my rhinestones into the 4 layers of my design. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then we're going to head on over to our heat press so we can get it pressed out on our shirt. So our first part was the No Worries and the God outline. And then we have the top of the God fill. And then we had the bottom of the God fill. This is a light pink for the top of the God fill, and then I just used a dark pink for the bottom of the God fill. And then the Got Me is just, we went back to the clear crystals that we used on the No Worries. So let's head on over to our heat press that's now been heating up, and we have it heated up to 300 degrees. Or we can go ahead and we're going to press out a black gilded medium shirt. Let me just raise this up a little more. And I'm going to first lay it on top of my heat transfer warehouse Walla press 16 by 20. I'm going to use my lint roller and get off some of the lint on the shirt. And then we're going to give it one press to get some of the moisture out. That should be good. I'm just going to let it up a little bit. Now we're going to fold our shirt in half and give it one more press so we can find the center of our shirt, so we can get our rhinestones in the center of our shirt. So we've got that folded, and we're going to push the plait back in one more time just to press that crease in. And our heat press is still heating up. We want to get it at least up to 300 degrees, and right now it's on 225. We're going to let that up. We're going to open up our shirt. And now you should see that crease down the center. Okay? We're going to get our first part of our shirt, which is our No Worries and our God sign. And we're just going to try to find the middle here. Let's see. It's going to be right about where that W and the 1O is there. And some of my little diamonds look like they moved a little bit, my little rhinestones. So we're just going to push those back in place with my nail. We're going to slowly lift up our design. And a few of my rhinestones have fallen off, but that's okay. I'm just going to take my design pen, my rhinestone pen, and I'm going to put them back on there, this time with the wrong side up into the little spots where it fell out. And try to get that right back into the spot that it's supposed to be. All right, that looks good. Just had another one move there. Okay. And we have the one more over here. Okay. That looks good. So our heat press is still on 259. We're just going to give it a few more minutes to get warmed up, and then we're going to go ahead and turn this baby over and get our first press down. I think while we're waiting, because it's on 285 now, we're just going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to pull it out just a little bit more so I can see that crease better. All my little rhinestones are deciding they want to move right now. Not being nice. Like the shirt says, no worries. Let me get my tweezers and see if I can't turn these ones back over here. That looks good. So we're going to flip it over. And we're going to put those rhinestones down now. These few keep wanting to lift off. I guess my paper is not as sticky in this one little spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift those up. And once I get it down, I'll put those on before I do my press. Okay, we're going to flip it over. And we're going to find our middle, which I think is right there. And we're going to press it down. Temporarily. And I'm going to now go back in and see if I can't get these other guys. I was going to try to put them down now, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and press the shirt down first, and then I'll put those other guys back in, those missing stragglers that decided that they didn't want to stick. We'll press those back in once we do our press. For our first time. So I'm going to go ahead and push in my platen, and I'm going to go ahead and press it down for about 12 seconds. Okay, we're going to pull our platen out, and I'm just going to lift off my KTM mask, and that looks real good, you guys. That looks really, really good. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my little stragglers and put them up here, back in place. Get my parchment paper, lay it down on top, and then I'll press those little stragglers in. So let's just push them right in there. All right, we'll push our platen back in. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I can get one more up in here. I think that's where he goes. I don't think he goes over there on that G. Okay. Get my parchment paper, put it on top, push it in, and we're just gonna maybe press this down for another 10 seconds. Okay, we're gonna lift it up and we're gonna take it out. Beautiful. Those got set in there real nice. Now we're gonna take the top of our God design and we're gonna put it in the top. We're gonna fill in our word God at the top. Okay. We're gonna gotta be real careful here, so we'll put back our top of our paper and try to, I just think I'm gonna roll this part back up here because we got a lot of paper up here. And I don't want it sticking down on the parts that I don't want it on. Okay. So we're just gonna fill that in like so. And now I'm just going to roll this back. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to put my parchment paper again back over the top. And we're going to give it a press for about another 12 seconds. Okay, we're going to let that up. Pull out our platen, and we are going to lift. Nice. All right, you guys, so right away I'm going to go ahead and put my backing back on my KTM mask so that we won't get any extra debris on that. Okay, now we're going to do the lower portion of our God. We're going to fill that in. And let's just see how all of our circles fit in here. Oh, that looks really nice, you guys. Really, really nice. I think we have one that just moved over just a little. So I'm going to push those up with my finger to make sure those get in where they're supposed to be. And then we're going to take our parchment paper, we're going to put it back over top, and we're going to press it down for 12 seconds. All right, we're going to pull out our platen. We are going to peel off our mask. I'm going to put the backing back onto my KTM mask so we don't get too much debris on the back there. And we have one more piece to press, you guys. The word got me. And it's coming out real nice. And the beautiful thing about making these transfers is once it's made, you can make shirts over and over and over again without having to make that transfer again. Oh yeah, this looks really nice, you guys. Okay. I'm going to get my parchment paper and put it over that whole template. And we're going to press it down for another 12 seconds. We're going to pull out our platen. We're going to take off our KTM mask. I'm going to put the backing back onto the back of my KTM mask. I'm going to get my platen paper, my parchment paper, lay it over my design one more time and give it one more final press. We're going to pull it out. And with that, our design is done. And oh my goodness, you guys, does it look so nice? Does it look so nice? No worries. God's got me. So let me go ahead and pull my camera around and I'll show you what that looks like up to me. All right, you guys, and look at that. Look how nice that came out. Came out so pretty. No worries. God's got me. You guys, so many different things you could do with so many different things. You know, rhinestones, embroidery, heat transfer vinyl. Just do it all, you guys. This shirt is so cute. I am so geeked. I know that's an old word. So geeked. Looks really nice. So, I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me on this video, learning how to upload your rhinestone template in your Cricut design space and make your rhinestone shirts. And with that, I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And I'll see you in the next video.